Welcome this morning, and thank you for joining me for the yoga session today. So today we're going to be focusing on the upper back, shoulders, neck, all of this region. As always, usual cautions that we will be coming into some forward bends, which means that's not advisable for anybody that's suffering with a bad back. Anybody with heart issues, blood pressure, uncontrolled blood pressure in particular, or eye issues such as glaucoma or detached retina. So as always, just to say, if you're in any doubt about whether the class is suitable for you, just check with your doctor first or drop me an email. So the props that we're going to use today, we're going to use a belt or a scarf, and it'd be quite helpful if you had that knotted up already, so that when you place your arms through, they're about shoulder width apart. And also we're going to use a restorative pose at the end of the class, and for this we need either some blocks or pillows, rolled up blankets, cushions. So as you can see, I've got quite a few here. The head is going to come onto the taller pile, and a slightly lower pile for the mid back area. So if you make sure you've got some of those to hand as well, and also maybe a block if you have tight hamstrings for when we come into a forward bend. It's quite handy to have something, either a stool or a block to put your hands on. So I'll put these to one side for now. So coming onto your mat, feet underneath the hips, and you can place the hands on the hips. And just start by taking your awareness around the body, just checking in, checking how the body feels this morning. And then drawing your attention to your natural breath. And just spend a moment or two just observing the breath as it moves quietly into and out of the abdomen. And starting gradually to deepen and lengthen the breath, using the Ujjayi breath if you can. Breathing down deep into the abdominal area. And as you exhale, pulling those abdominal muscles up to about the navel. Hold it there. As you start the inhale, feel the inhale filling the ribs, and then releasing smoothly the abdomen, allowing the breath to flow downwards and up into the upper chest as well. So just 2 more breaths in that way, developing a long, smooth and easy breath. And placing the hands on the hips. And as we inhale, we're going to press the elbows back behind, and you can just gently press the hips forward slightly, raising the head to look up at the ceiling. And exhaling, coming back to where you were before, drawing the chin in to keep the back of the neck long. And we'll repeat that. Inhale, press the elbows back, feel the opening across the chest, looking up. And exhale, coming back, drawing the chin in. Inhale, a little back bend. And then as you exhale, not just coming back to center, but just rounding forward. You can start to run the hands down the thighs, drawing the chin in, and inhale. So we're going to go between these movements. You can start to take the arms a little bit away from the body, palms forwards, pressing the hands back, and exhale, rounding forwards, keeping the knees nice and soft. And each time we do this on the exhale, we'll just go a little bit lower if it feels okay for you. Pushing the hips back, rounding and just coming down a little bit. Keeping the attention on your breath. And keeping it smooth, controlled, feeling easy. And if you can come lower, that's fine. If you can't, just stay with wherever you can come to in a comfortable way. Keeping the knees soft. As you come down, the arms are passive, the shoulders and the heads relaxed. And the next time we come down, we'll add a sound, we'll add ah. Ah. Inhale, keeping the neck and shoulders relaxed until you come up. And again. Coming up nice and slowly. Now we'll do a hum. And keep that sound going for as long as you can. As long as the next breath doesn't become agitated as a result. And this time we'll do Om. If at any time you feel lightheaded while you do this, then just sit down on the floor until you regain your sense of being normal. And coming back up. And just take a couple of natural breaths. And just observe any sensations arising in the body, in the breath, in the mind. So for the next one, we're going to come up on tiptoes as we raise the heels. So we're going to inhale, take the right arm up towards the ceiling and raise the heels from the floor. Stretch up into those fingertips. Whoops. As you exhale, lower the heels and tip over to your left. So the arm comes above the head towards the left. Inhale, come back to the center and raising the heels again. Stretch up. And exhale, bring that arm down by your side. And you can place that right hand on your hip. Releasing the left hand. Inhale, raising the arm, raising the heels. Stretch up along the left side of the body. Exhale, lower the heels, tip over to your right. Keeping that nice long breath going. Inhaling, coming back to center, raising the heels again. And exhale, lowering the heels with control. Coming back to the right side, inhale, lifting the arm. And exhale, lowering the heels, coming over to your left. Inhaling to center, raising heels. Exhale, lowering the arm, lowering the heels down. Left arm, inhale, raise the heels. Exhale, lowering the heels, coming over to your right. Inhaling to center, raising the heels again. and lowering the arms down. So we'll just do that one more time. So that's one time to each side. Right arm coming up, keeping your attention on the flow of the breath and that nice, smooth, continual flow. If you find the breath becomes agitated, just take a pause in the rest position and allow the breath to come back to a feeling of ease. And when you've completed, standing in Samasthiti, that means feet underneath your hips, arms relaxed, back of the neck long with the chin drawn in slightly, relaxing shoulders. And you can close your eyes for a second or two while you just tune into the body. So we're going to come into the warrior position. So standing at the front of your mat, just take a step back with your right foot. So the right foot is just angled out slightly. Left foot is pointing forwards, the hips are pointing forwards. And just make sure that you have a stable position, that you feel comfortable and stable. If you don't, just readjust your feet. So on the inhalation, we're going to bend the front knee and bring the arms into this bent position, sometimes called cactus pose. And when you come into this position, just press those elbows back a little bit so you're making nice space across the chest. And then as you exhale, the legs stay where they are. You're going to turn to the right, take the right hand to the lower back and the left hand onto the right shoulder, looking behind. Inhale, come back to center, arms into cactus position, press back. And then we're going to do the same to the other side. Not quite so easy to turn this way. Inhale, come back to center, cactus arms, press back. As you exhale, we're going to straighten the front knee, hold the opposite elbows behind your back, and just tilting forward slightly. You don't have to come all the way down, just a tilt forward. Take a breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come back to the cactus arms, pressing the elbows back, fingers pointing towards the ceiling. And exhale, turning to the right. Left hand just gently on that right shoulder, not exactly pushing it back, but just a little reminder, a little encouragement to move back. Inhale to center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, straightening the front leg, bringing the arms behind your back and holding the opposite elbow. And just a little tilt forwards, don't lock the knees. Inhale, you can just lift very slightly. Exhale, just see if you can lower a little bit more, keeping the torso more or less parallel to the floor. Inhaling, coming back, bending the knee, cactus arms. Exhale into the twist. Take care in this position that this left leg doesn't drop inwards, that you're keeping it active. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhaling, straightening the leg, bringing the arms behind, holding the opposite elbow, tilting forwards. Inhale here. Exhale, Just come as far forward as feels comfortable. Inhaling back to center, bending the knee, cactus arms. And we're going to twist to the right. We're going to stay in this position for a few breaths. And we're just going to use our left hand on top of the right, not on top of the shoulder, but more above the pectoral muscle. And we're just going to massage that muscle a little bit. As you exhale, just press the fingertips into the flesh and just press backwards. So as if you're pressing the shoulder back behind you, and just a little bit of gentle touch. You might feel that shoulder just moving back. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, opposite side. We'll do the same thing with the hand. Nice little, quite firm but gentle touch with the fingertips. Moving from the sternum back towards the shoulder. Inhale, come to center. And exhale, coming forward, straightening the front leg. Holding the opposite elbow. And we'll spend about 4 breaths here. You might be able to lower the head further down. Just come to what's comfortable for you. Keep the head relaxed here. The legs are doing all the work. Couple more breaths. And we're going to inhale, come back to center, bend the knee. Press the elbows back. And exhale, come back to your start position. Then we're going to turn around to the opposite side. The same thing. So adjust your feet so that you're stable. Don't feel wobbly. And then on an inhale, bending the knee, cactus arms. And exhale, twisting to your left to start with. Right hand on top of the left shoulder. A very gentle touch. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting the other side. Inhale to the center. And exhale, straightening the leg, bringing the arms behind your back, holding the opposite elbow and just tilting forward, taking a breath. And coming back to center on the inhalation. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale, coming forward, straightening the leg. Inhale. And exhale, see if you can come a bit low down. And inhaling back to center. Exhale, twisting left. Taking care with that front thigh that it stays active. And exhaling, coming to Parsvanasana. Inhale, coming up. Just check your breath. If it's become agitated, we'll just stop for a few natural breaths. I'm just going to stop the recording just for a few seconds. We'll change the lighting. So coming to that last repetition, inhaling, variation of Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into the twist. And so again, we're going to repeat what we did before. So with the fingertips starting at about the sternum, as you exhale, pressing back towards the shoulder joint. You can let the fingers fan out as you do this. So it's a firm but gentle touch. And the last one. So coming back to the center, inhaling. And exhaling the other way. Just checking that this knee doesn't fall inwards, keeping it there. Same thing, using the left hand. And do this on the exhale. Last one. And as you inhale, come back to center. Press the elbows back, open up the chest. And exhaling, straightening the front knee. Taking care not to lock it, of course. Arms to the opposite elbow. And dropping the head as far as is comfortable. And allow the head to be relaxed, the shoulders to be relaxed. And just take a few breaths in this position. So on the next inhale, we start to bend the knee, start to come forwards. Back up to cactus arms. And exhale, coming back to your start position. Turning the feet forwards. You can stand back in Samasthiti for a few breaths. Just allowing the breath to recover. And then we're going to step out, ready for Trikonasana triangle pose. So the left foot is going to come out to 90 degrees and just angle the right foot inwards slightly. So the pelvis is still facing the long end of your mat. And on an inhale, raising the arms up to shoulder level, stretching out into the fingertips. As you exhale, take the hips to the right, reach out to the left with the left hand and start to bring that hand down towards the left leg and the other arm moves up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, coming back up. And we're just going to move between those two positions slowly with the breath. If the breath gets agitated, you can lower the arms and just take a pause. But otherwise, we'll do about 6 repetitions. Down into Trikonasana. Trying to keep the shoulders soft, not letting tension come in. Stretching up into the top arm, feeling that space there under that armpit. And so this next time we'll stay in the position. So from here, as you inhale, move the right arm over to the left. Look up into that palm, so the palm is facing down towards the floor. And then as you exhale, move the right arm back and away from you and point the fingers up towards the ceiling. Look down towards your left foot. So also press the arm back a little. So again, you're making space across the front of the chest. Inhale, take that arm back over to the right. Look up into the palm. Exhale, look down at your left foot. Take the right arm away and point the fingers behind you, taking the arm back a little. Inhale, bring the arm over to the left. Look up into the palm. Exhale, take the arm away, look down towards the foot and point the fingers towards the front of the room. Again, pressing that arm back a little. Inhale, come up to center. And exhale, dropping the arms down by your sides and turning to the opposite side. Inhaling, taking the arms up to the sides, and exhaling down into Trikonasana. Synchronizing your movement with your breath. If your breath isn't so long, just make the movements just a little bit faster, so the movements fit the breath rather than the other way around. Moving with awareness, what's going on in the body, what's going on with the breath. Taking a rest if you need to. And if you want to take a little pause either at the end of the inhale or at the end of the exhale, that's fine. Just 1 or 2 seconds. And the next one will stay there. So it's the same thing. Inhale, we move the left arm over to the right. Palm faces the floor and you can look up into the palm. As you exhale, take that arm back and away. Point the fingers towards the ceiling and look down at your right foot. Remember to take that arm back a little, so you're creating space in the front of the shoulder joint. And repeating. Inhale. As you exhale, the fingers are going to point behind. Inhale, come back up and over. And it's the last one. And this time, fingers point towards the front of the room. And inhale, coming up. Exhale, float the arms down by your sides, turn the feet forwards, and just step back into Samastiti. So we're just going to tap around this area that we're targeting today. I'm going to tap all around the neck, back of the neck, just with the fingertips, nice light taps, front of the neck, base of the neck. And then all around, first of all, one shoulder, and then coming over to the other shoulder. And you might be able to reach behind a little bit and just get the tops of the shoulder blades. And then releasing the arms down by your sides. And just take a couple of breaths, closing the eyes. And just feeling the effects of that tapping. It does have an effect on the nervous system. It calms the nervous system down. So let's see what we're going to do next. Okay. So we're going to come down again into a forward bend and then introduce coming up halfway, just with one arm at a time. So we're going to start, I'll do it sideways on, feet underneath the hips or maybe slightly wider. I'm going to keep the knees soft throughout the whole of this asana. And we're going to start quite simply by inhaling, taking the arms above the head, keeping them nice and soft, the elbows a little bit bent. Soften the knees. Exhale, sweep the arms by your sides as you bring them to the lower back and you come down into the forward bend. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and above the head as you come up. Exhale, going back to the previous position. Just moving between these two positions just to start with. You should feel a nice rotation going on in the shoulder joints as you sweep the arms backwards and forwards. keeping the arms quite soft as you bring them overhead. And so the next time we come down into the forward bend, we're only going to come up halfway. So leaving the left hand on the lower back, we're going to raise the torso so it's parallel to the floor and sweep just the right arm forward and have the palm facing the ceiling. So the arm is by your ear. Exhale, take that arm back to the lower back, release down into the forward bend. Inhale, come up halfway, bring the left arm forward, palm towards the ceiling. Exhale, come back down, all the way down into the forward bend. And now soften the knees and come all the way up. So the arms are coming up by your sides. And then exhale back down again into the forward fold, arms behind the back. Inhale, coming up halfway, rotating the right shoulder. So the right palm is facing the ceiling. And exhale, coming back all the way down. Inhale, coming up halfway with the left arm. And exhale, back down. Inhale, coming all the way up. Rotating those shoulder joints. And we'll just do that one more time. Exhale, coming into the forward bend, arms behind the back. Inhale, halfway, right arm. Rotating the shoulder so that the palm is facing the ceiling. Exhale, coming back into the forward bend. Inhale, left arm coming forwards. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, soften the knees as you come up. And exhale, dropping the arms down by your sides. And just take a couple of resting breaths. Right, before we use our belt, we're going to do a modification of goddess pose. So we'll take the feet quite wide. And we're going to turn the feet so that they're out at about 45-degree angle, pointing outwards. And for this position, we're going to bend the knees and stay in the position. So we want to imagine that as we bend our knees, they're tracking over the middle of our feet. Imagine a line coming down the middle of your foot. And as your knee bends, it's going to follow that line. So in other words, the knees aren't going to drop into the center. And as you bend the knees, you're going to be able to look down and see both of your big toes. So we'll start by bending the knees first, and then we'll introduce the arm movements. So you can place the hands on the hips, take an inhale, and as you exhale, bending the knees, tracking them over the feet, coming down as low as you can, and then taking the arms out to the sides, and the fingers are going to point up towards the ceiling, as if you're pressing outwards against something on each side of you, and also taking the arms back a little bit. So take a few breaths here. And then we're going to rotate the arms so that the fingers point behind. And again, taking the arms back behind you, see if you can lower a little bit closer towards the floor, making the thighs work quite a lot. And then rotate so the fingers point forwards. And if you can manage it, we're going to do one more. Going to bring the arms above the head, bend the elbows, point the fingers behind, and as if you're carrying a tray above your head. Keeping the breath smooth. And release, coming down. So we're going to use your belt now, or scarf, whatever it is you've chosen to use. I've got a scarf here. And have it so that when you place your forearms through, your arms are about shoulder width, like so. So we're going to step back into a position for warrior one. And we're going to have the belt or the scarf around your wrists, looped around your wrists, with the palms facing each other. And we're going to press outwards against the scarf. And we're going to keep that light pressure there through the whole of the movement. So we start with the arms facing down, press back into that back heel of the right foot, lift the chest, and then on your next inhalation, we're going to come into warrior one, bending the front knee and raising the arms above the head, keeping that constant pressure there, taking the arms back as far as they'll go, and then exhale, coming back to your rest position. And keep going. Inhale, raising up, gentle, constant pressure. And so working with the length of your own breath rather than with mine. Starting the movement as you start your breath and making sure you finish the movement by the time you finish your breath. And on the next one, we'll stay there for a couple of breaths. Feeling that nice stretch underneath the armpit. Pressing back into the back heel of the right foot. And exhale, release. And then we can simply turn around to reverse the position of the feet. Do the same thing. So nice firm but gentle pressure. A few things to think about in this is keeping that pressure there, keeping the movement smooth and coordinated with the breath, keeping the breath itself comfortable and smooth. If you lose that, then just pause, come back to a rest position, and just allow the breath to recover. So we'll stay on this one. And exhale, and lowering down. So now we're going to place the hands behind the back and try and take the belt up to well above the elbow. It's a little bit more difficult to put it in place as the arms are behind the back. But as long as you get the belt above the elbows, that should be fine. So it should be like this. And so this time we're going to press outwards with the upper arms. You can place the hands on the hips. And we'll just start with the feet underneath the hips. And the same movement that we did at the start of the session, where we inhaled and we just looked up, pushed the hips forwards a little bit to get a back bend, and then exhale back to center, draw the chin in. Again, gentle pressure with the thumb, pushing the hips forward, and at the same time pressing outwards into the belt. So we're going to make that a little bit more challenging. We're going to take the feet back into the position we've been using for warrior. So as you inhale, press outwards with your arms against the belt. You can look up gently. As you exhale, draw the chin in, start to move forwards towards the floor. So you're just to start with, bringing the chest sort of parallel to the floor. Inhale, coming back up. Both legs stay straight this time. You can look up if you want to, if your neck feels okay. Keeping that little pressure against the belt as you move carefully forward. If you want to come more forward into Parshva Uttanasana, that is bringing the head closer to the leg. That's perfectly fine. But don't go further than you feel comfortable with. And your breath will soon tell you if you start to go too much into the position. The breath will soon tell you that it's becoming a little bit disturbed. And we'll just do one more on this side. And then turning the feet to the opposite side. And when you're ready to take an inhale, you can just gently push the thumbs against the hips as you look up. Press outwards against the belt. Exhale, gently drawing that chin in so the back of the neck lengthens in line with the spine. And coming forward as far as you feel comfortable with. Inhaling, coming up. And keeping it a comfortable movement. Keeping that pressure against the belt with your upper arms. We'll just do one more after the one that you're on at the moment. And when you've completed, stepping the feet together. So we're going to keep the arms behind the back, but we're going to take the belt so that it's more or less looped around your wrists. So if you start with the thumbs next to your body, I'm going to rotate thumbs forwards and then out towards the sides so that your palms are now facing outwards. I'll do this sideways on. Feet underneath the hips. And as you inhale, you're going to take the arms out, back, behind you. Again, pressing outwards against the belt slightly. Soften the knees. As you start to exhale, start to bend forwards into a forward bend, taking the arms above the head and forwards. And inhale, come up. Keep that gentle pressure against the belt. And exhale, allow the shoulders to soften down. Inhale, raising the arms behind you. Soften the knees. Exhale into the forward bend. Just allow the arms to come as far forward as they're able to. Soften the knees again before you come up, keeping the back straight as you come up. Exhale, soften the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, raising the arms behind. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and exhale into the forward bend. Coming up on the inhalation. And exhale, relax that whole area. And we'll just do one more. And relax, exhale. And release the arms. That's the last we're going to use of the belt. You can put that to one side. Come back to Samasthiti. And again, we'll do a little bit of tapping around the area that we've been working on. And this time as well, we're just going to take your fingertips and just run them along the collarbones, just one at a time. Just a little bit of a gentle touch, gentle soothing movement, feeling as if you're soothing that area all down, relaxing it. And then the other side. Okay, so for our last standing posture, this is where you may need a block or a small stool in front of you. So we're going to take the legs out wide again. Feet are parallel, pointing forwards. Softening the knees a little bit. And on the inhale, we're going to bring the arms above the head. As you exhale, come down into the wide-angled forward bend, pushing the hips backwards, bringing the hands down to the floor or to your block in front of you. And we're going to inhale, keep the left hand where it is, and just raising the right arm towards the ceiling, and you can look up towards that arm. And exhale, bringing the hand down, and then moving to the other side. So you can keep the knees as soft as you need them to be. So it's inhale, raising the arm, exhale, lowering. Following that movement with your head. So keep it quite soft, trying not to put any tension into it. So it's just targeting that area between the shoulder blades. Not locking the knees either. So just moving with your breath, one side to the other. A soft, loose movement. So the hips don't move, it's just the upper back. And when you bring the left hand down the next time, we'll just stay in this position for a few breaths. You can walk the hands back, if you like, in between the feet. And release the head and the neck and the shoulders. Just allow them just to drop down towards the floor. If you want to, you can grab the opposite elbow with the hands and just allow the shoulders just to drop down towards the floor. The weight of the hands just helping that a little bit. And if you want to just sway gently from side to side, if that feels good. Releases a little bit of tension. So to come up out of this position, we're going to put the hands on the hips. Bend the knees. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale here. Inhale, come up the rest of the way. And step the feet together. So from here, we're going to come down to kneeling or to sitting on a chair, if you prefer. So I shall use a couple of cushions, sit on the floor. So just making sure that your spine is straight, erect. The back of the neck is long, the shoulders are relaxed, down the back. And just take a few breaths. Just a few natural breaths. Feeling the breath coming down into the abdomen. And using your abdomen just to help the breath to exhale. So on your next exhalation, we're going to turn the head to the left. It's a gentle movement. Pause there if you wish. And inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Pause if you wish. And inhale to center. And doing that again. See how far you can take the neck, keeping it within your range of comfort, of course. If you have had any issues with your neck in the past, just go very carefully. You do have to respect the neck. And just working with it little by little, you might be able to increase your range of motion. Keeping the breath soft and smooth. When you've done each side, same number of times, come back to the center. And we're going to drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder, just tilting the head over to the right. And then placing the right hand just gently on top of the head, not pressing down, but just allowing that little bit of weight, just to encourage a little bit more stretch. The left shoulder is just completely relaxed. The left arm is passive. And if you feel okay here, if the neck feels all right, you haven't got any indications of any pain, as you inhale, just turn the head up towards the ceiling. It feels just as if you're turning the nose up. And then exhale, turn the nose down towards the floor. You might feel a nice stretch down the left side of the neck. And repeating that 2 or 3 times. Keeping your awareness on those muscles. How do they feel? Are you working with the cooperation of the body? And then coming up to center. Taking the right arm down. And then tipping the head over towards the left shoulder. Just taking a breath or two just to notice, how does it feel? If it feels okay, take the left hand, top of the head. That little bit of extra gentle weight just draws the head down. And if this is feeling okay for you, as you inhale, just turning the nose up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rotating down towards the floor. Just enjoying that nice stretch. One more. Making sure you keep the right shoulder passive and relaxed at the same time as doing this. And then inhaling, coming back to center. We're going to practice palming, which means rubbing the hands together and making some friction and some heat between the palms. And then placing the palms over your eyes with the palms cupped, so they're not directly on your eyes. And then inhaling, looking up, turning the head up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, looking down. Rubbing the palms together again. Cupping the hands over the eyes. You can open the eyes. Inhale, tipping up. And exhale, drawing the chin in slowly. One more time. It's very good for the eyes. This has been proven scientifically to benefit the eyes. Same time we're working on the neck. And then bringing the head to center, taking the hands away. And just coming back to your natural breath. Allowing the shoulders to soften. Bringing your awareness to all the parts of the neck, the back of the neck, sides and the front. And then running along the tops of the shoulders to the shoulder joints. And then moving back into the shoulder blades. Allowing the shoulder blades to relax down the back. And the whole of this area to release and soften. So we're going to come down to the floor, to lying on the floor. So you don't need the cushions to start with. We're going to lie on our sides, knees bent, top knee on top of the bottom knee, and you can place a low cushion underneath your head if you like. Make sure I've got enough space. So we're lying on our side, head on the cushion, and so if you're lying on your right side, your right arm will be against the floor, palm facing up, and the left hand will be on top, so the two palms are in contact. And then as you inhale, you're going to just describe a large circle. The top hand is going to go above your head, trying to keep the fingertips in contact with the floor, and then you'll find that you roll to look up at the ceiling as the arm moves out to the other side, so that both arms are now at right angles. Inhale, taking that arm back to where it started from. Roll over onto the right shoulder. So you're now looking, both hands are in contact. You're at your start position. So we inhale one way, exhale the other. So just trying to keep the fingertips in contact with the floor, but if they don't, that doesn't matter too much. Just allow them to come as close to the floor as you can. I've got a few things in the way here, but try and make sure you've got a bit of space around you and above the head. So keep going. And the next time that you come into the position with the arms out at shoulder level, we're going to stay there. And just bring your attention to your breath. So with the right rib cage against the floor, you might feel your breath flowing more into this top shoulder, into the left side of the rib cage. And you can help that to happen a little bit more strongly by using your the muscles between the ribs, the intercostals. So as you inhale, feel that left side of the rib cage expand. And exhale, using your abdominal muscles, drawing them up from the base of the pelvis up towards the navel. Hold that firmness there as you inhale into the left side of the rib cage. So we're practicing the same breathing pattern that we did at the start of the session. Only this time we're breathing just into one side of the ribs. Exhale, draw up the abdominal muscles. Hold that as you start the inhale, and then smoothly allow the abdomen to relax. To allow the breath to move down and up as well as into the side ribs. If this is a little bit too much for you at this stage, that's no real problem. You just work on inhaling fully into the left side and exhaling fully, using your abdominal muscles if you can. And see if you can feel any space opening up under the left armpit. See if you can detect the breath moving up into that area, under the collarbone. And then we're going to bring that hand back to where it started. And turn opposite direction. I'll move myself around so I'm still facing the camera. So lying on the left side of the body, placing a cushion there if you feel the need for that, and placing the left arm against the floor, and the right hand comes on top. And we inhale, sometimes called drawing chalk circles. It's as if we've got a piece of chalk in the hand and drawing a circle. And so we're just going drawing half a circle at the moment. Inhale going one way. I've got quite a few obstacles here actually. It's good if you've got a bit of clear space. So the next one will stay there. And bringing your attention to the breath. And to the right side of the rib cage. And breathing consciously into that side. Using the intercostal muscles to help separate the ribs on the inhale. And just feel them closing back together again as you exhale. Feel where the breath goes. Is it going into the armpits? Going up to the collarbone? One more breath. And bringing that arm back, either on an inhale or an exhale, doesn't matter. And then we're going to use our cushions to set ourselves up for a restorative pose to finish the class with. So we need to have 2 piles of cushions, or you can have rolled blankets or blocks even. And we're going to have the higher one for the head, and we're going to have a lower one, which is going to be for behind the back, about mid-back area. So you might need to experiment a little bit so that it becomes a comfortable position for you. The legs are going to be just straight along the floor. And position yourself so the lower cushions are under the mid-back, and the head is on the higher pile. So just take a minute or two just to get comfortable. Allow the arms to be a little bit away from your sides, palms facing up, And the shoulders should be dropping off nicely off the sides of your cushions or blocks and dropping down towards the floor. So you've got a nice open chest. It should feel comfortable. And when you're in the position, when you feel comfortable, allow the body to relax completely. And just feel the support, the cushions underneath your body, taking your weight. So the body doesn't have to do anything. And just run round the body. Just mentally take your attention through all the parts of the body, just allowing it all to relax. Making sure you're not holding any tension unconsciously somewhere. And bringing your attention to the back of the neck. See if you can feel any extra length down the sides of the neck. And up to the jaw. Relaxing the lips, the tongue, the inside of the mouth. Cheeks drop inwards slightly. And coming up to the eyes, relaxing the muscles around the eyes. The eyes are closed and turning downwards in the sockets. Relaxing the temples, forehead, feeling broad and smooth, and the top of the head. The back of the head being supported, drawing your attention down to the base of the neck. And moving outwards to the right shoulder joints and the left shoulder joints. And visualize in your mind's eye these complicated joints connected, bones are connected by lots of tissue, ligaments, tendons, and of course muscles. Imagine all of those tissues being perfused with blood. And the blood bringing fresh oxygen, feeding the cells, taking away the waste products. So both of the shoulder joints feeling rejuvenated, warm and soft, and relaxed. And then take your attention outwards along the arms, the wrists, palms and backs of the hands, and the fingertips. And allow the hands to feel relaxed and soft. And then run your attention back up the arms and come back to the rib cage, down to the abdomen, and the pelvis. Allow your attention to run along both of the legs, the knees to the ankles, to the feet and soles of the feet. The feet relaxed on both legs, feeling heavy against the floor. And bringing the attention to the breath, The breath is probably feeling quite shallow, soft and quiet. You might be able to feel the pulse of the blood throughout the whole of the body. The breath bringing in fresh oxygen, fresh life, rejuvenating every cell of the body. So if you'd like to, you can stay in this position for as long as you wish. Or otherwise, we're going to come slowly out. Bend the knees. And very carefully remove the cushions. You can roll onto one side, maybe just take them away. And then just coming onto one side and staying here for a few breaths before coming up to a sitting position. So we're just going to practice palming just one last time, just to bring us back to the real world. So generating that little bit of heat. Placing the cupped hands over the eyes, open the eyes, keep it there for a second or two, and taking the hands away. Thank you very much for joining me today.